So let me start. What we have here is optimizing social media marketing strategies. And what is social media itself? I think that's one question that all of us do ask. Social media is nothing but computer-based technology that facilitates sharing of information, thoughts through the virtual network and communities. By design, social media is internet-based. That is primary. We see that anything that has to do with social media is internet-based, and it gives users the opportunity to be able to share content and to communicate. So if we need to put it in another term, it's a collective term for website, which you know, Facebook, Instagram, and all of that, and applications, either mobile app or web app that you have, which focus on communication, community-based input, interaction, and content sharing and collaboration. And these are the thing. If you get this, I believe that this has succeeded in putting social media in clear terms for most of us. And if, like I said, simply put, is a collection of websites and applications that enables users create and share content or to participate in social networking. So what social media is here to do is to help you to become social. And when you're talking about being social, you want to collaborate, you want to share, you want to learn, you want to be informed, you want to get involved in what is happening. And this is exactly what social media is. And these are among the things that it is here to deliver to us. So we know if it's just that I can't ask the question, but we'll be asking as we go. But we all know so many of the social media network that we have. The social networking sites that we have, among them are Facebook, LinkedIn, and then we have the microblogging, which is also a subset of social media. There you have the Twitter and Tumblr and the rest. Then another one is the photo sharing platform, which we have Instagram, Snapchat, Pinterest, and all of these. And these are things that you can use. I believe some of us are on this platform, and all these could be used to actually improve your performance, either as individual or as a business. Also, we have the video sharing platforms. Among them, we have the YouTube, we have the Facebook Live, we have Periscope, we have Twitch, you have Vimeo, and all the like. All these have been designed, and one thing we can be sure is that many are still coming. So, what do you have to do in order to take advantage of this? And part of the things that social media does for us is one of the primary things that you use it for is to grow your brand awareness, either as individual or as business. There are so many individuals, just like we know, we call some of them social media influencers, we call them brand ambassadors and all of that. And what do? They use this social media well to improve their brand, either individual brand, personal brand, or business brand. So, like I put here, under grow brand awareness, you have create brand recognition. That's among the things that you can do. You can, under brand awareness, you can use it to generate conversation around your brand. Like what we have had, the movement that we currently saw in our nation, we saw how a conversation was generated around the end police brutality and all that we have. And this is the same thing that business can use. It's not just for activism or what have you. It can also be used to improve your brand. And it's also a way to learn the best way to connect with your audience. There's something that most business fail to do, which is social listening. When we're reviewing some of the things that we have learned, you realize that all these things are coming together. When you are communicating your ideas, when you're communicating your business, part of the things that you also have to do in communicating is listening. And when you're taking your brand there, when you're trying to grow your brand, you also have to learn the act of listening. And also, this is key for most people. You need to be able to tell your brand story. Telling your brand story is one of the primary things that you can do. as you want to improve your brand. Because if you don't tell your story, nobody can tell it. And if you fail to tell it, somebody will tell it for you. It might be an angry customer that tells it. If an angry customer tells your story, you will only be playing catch up. So that's why we do encourage business and individual that try as much as possible to tell your story by yourself. Yes, it might look like you are blowing your trumpet, but people that knows you will be able to know that you're not blowing your trumpet. It's just trying to put the right narratives out there. And you can also, while you're also building your brand, you can also use the social media to gather information that you can use effectively for improvement. And just like what we're talking about, you can also use it in brand awareness to provide customer service and build loyalty. We've seen so many organizations doing this. Another importance of social media is you can increase traffic to your online or offline location. Most times, people need to have good online presence to also be able to drive traffic to their offline location. Most business as we have these days, yes, I might not be able to get the right direction to your organization, but if you have succeeded in getting on the Google map and having your complete information on your social media, it's you have only provided me an avenue to be able to quickly reach you, either reach you via phone, WhatsApp, or whatever, and to be able to get information that I need. And one of the good thing about social media is that it never goes offline. So if you succeed in putting it there, even if they know that your shop is not available, um, at that time, maybe because you have closed, they can still know when you are open. And that's why it's important that when people want to make decision on either buy or sell or to reach you, make sure that your information is available at the right time. So like I said, it can drive traffic to your website. You can use it to build yes, internet link, and also you can use it just like the platform that we have now. I'm sure that some of us are making new friends and we are reaching out to new people. So you can use social media to effectively reach out to the people that you want to connect with. And one of the things, and with this I will advise, I know the convener, Pharmacist Ajibade, he does this well in terms of what he uses the platform to do. We all need to be experts and to become authority so that the right information can get to the right places. So for most of us that are professional, this is why it's even important that you try to develop your personal brand so that you can help shape the narratives. So many things are happening in our nation, and if good people like most of us in this group are not taking the narratives and changing it and saying the right thing, we will only be shortchanging ourselves, and the change that we are looking for, we might not be able to get it. So please, I encourage us, and this is one of the things I do tell people most times. You are going online not only because of you, but because of lives that you can save, because of life that you can make better, and because of people that will look up to you to want to ask questions and to want to make you even their mentors. So another importance of social media that we know is you can use it to promote your products and services. And I believe this should excite most of us. It doesn't matter what you're doing. Immediately you have something to sell or you have something to give, I advise you to get online. It's cheaper than any other medium that you can use to promote your product and services. So even if it's content that you're selling, even if it's services you are selling, even if it's advice, please take it online and let people be able to see. You can use social media well to your advantage, and you can use it to engage your audience so that you can keep them updated and keep them informed, and even along the line you can use it to improve even the economy of the country. So I advise us to get online. So having social media presence requires a lot, and one of the questions that I do ask, I get asked when most times either we're consulting for people or we are trying to talk with people, is social media is not for me. Is it really for me? Whether it's for me or whether it's not for me, I'm a shy person, I'm a this, I'm a that. Please, I would say, like what we have seen and what we're seeing, a lot of things are evolving, and businesses need to get in the face of people that want to buy from them. And one thing that we have seen is that most times people buy the wrong thing because the people that actually have the correct things are not coming out. So for me, I would say no matter who you are and no matter your experience or your level, social media is for you because there are definitely lots of people that will be in need of what you have, and you would be doing them a lot of good by putting yourself out there. So another thing, so if you can settle it in your mind that yes, I need to have my presence, I need to have a social media presence, then the next thing you need to set out is your vision and goal. Just like some of the things that we have discussed that we have been taught in past time. Everything that you want to do in life requires planning. A popular saying says that if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And this has been one of the frustration of people when they are going online. They don't have a clear goal. They don't set the right vision. For me, my online social presence might not be all about selling. Some people might be informing people. Like I've seen a lot of people that have become authorities, that have become experts in their field, all because they go online. And when you go online, if that is your goal, that means you don't need to be promoting yourself unnecessarily. All you want to do is to give insightful information, give correct ideas, put the right ideas that can shape ideas that you want to put out there, and you are on your way to becoming an expert. And what we need, and that's why I tell people, and for people that really want to use it to sell, you will know that your approach will be different. Because if you are using it to sell, then the content you are going to be producing will be definitely different from somebody that just wants to be informing people. And for people that there are times, like I do tell people, you need to be able to educate, you need to be able to entertain, and you need to be able to excite. For people that want to educate, yes, that means your content must be rich, your content must be informative, and must be insightful. Yes, even if you choose to go the path of entertainment, yes, we see so many of people that are using the platform, the social media to entertain their audience, and they're doing it well. And eventually, at the end of the day, they do make their money. So that's the thing. So you see that the content that they produce is different from somebody that just want to sell. And when you want to excite, if it's all about exciting people, creating a good thing that makes people happy, that makes people joyful, then you need to have a goal around that. So no matter what you are doing, no matter the business you are doing, you can always find something to say and something to do. So before you set out, have the right vision and goal for your social media presence. Don't just go out there that okay because this person is doing it. If you watch, if you all you just need to do is to probably just like I said, and that's one of the things about social listening. You might first of all take a sample of let's say the five related businesses to what you're doing, or the five related individuals that are doing the things you're doing. First of all, listen. Um, Go online, search what is their tone, what is their vision, how do their message come across, how often do they post, what are they doing. These are things that you need to first of all set out. So for me, as a business person that I'm into consulting in IT, my approach is going to be different from most of us that are pharmacists. And for some of us that are educationists and professionals, not directly in pharmacy, we know we have to create the right goal so that our audience will be reached. The next thing I always tell people again, after setting your vision and goal, is yes, even though you are setting your vision and goal, your audience must have come up. Just like we said that, okay, who do you want to sell to when you are preparing your business? Who are your audience? Who are you going to reach? You need to set that one in mind. And I believe anybody that's going into business, you know the audience. So for some of us, we might need to drill down to the interest. For most of us in this house, let's say, for example, as a pharmacist, let's start getting practical. Most of the people you'll be looking to reach, who will they be? If you're going on social media, for example, Twitter, That is where you'll be able to see the audience of 18 to like 45 that are active. So the vision and the plan that you're going to set for Twitter might be different from what you're setting for Instagram. Like we have, Twitter is more of a microblogging site, which means that you are going to be interacting more with text. But Instagram, the beauty of it is about images. So you need to know the audience both on the individual social media platform and the audience that you have as a whole. So what you are now going to do is to break them down and to see how you can reach them. So knowing who you are reaching, who you want to reach is very, very key. And you need to also, after that, you need to choose the platform. Like I do tell people, in order not to get overwhelmed, because so many things are changing on these platforms. So it might be difficult for most of us to keep up. So what I always advise is choose your platform rightly. And when you're choosing, you look at your own strengths and weaknesses. You look at your audience. Where are they? Which platform is best for me? For example, for pharmacists, like most of us might be, or for some professional, social media like Facebook work for us more. And to some extent, also by inclusion, I'll include even WhatsApp in this. WhatsApp might work for most of us, and Facebook, and even Instagram. So, what we need to know now is that, okay, who are the audience that congregates on each of these platforms? So, when I look at it, in order not to get overwhelmed, I can decide that I want to start with just Facebook and concentrate on building my audience to the right level before I add on, so that I'm not just churning out information that nobody is seeing. So I will encourage you, as you're making your plan, to get on this platform, or for some of us that are already there, you might need to do stock taking at the end of this program to actually know which platform is working for me. Because you might be reaching out on all the platform, and like a popular quote said, the jack of all trades can be master of none. So at times it's not so much of being on all the platform, but using the best platform and the most appropriate for your own, for yourself, so that you can reach your audience. So I will advise that in our stock taking, or as we want to launch out, choose the platform appropriately and accordingly, so that you can be able to reach your audience. Also, all platform has their rules, and they have terms and conditions. For example, we have so many of our, most times when we are consulting, we see people, I want 1 million audience followers overnight. It doesn't work. Yes, you might have, yes, there are so many people that can help you arrange audience, but I always advise against it. Whatever you want to do, let it be organic. Don't buy audience, because the audience you buy, yes, you will have the multiple of them, but you might end up just having 5 or 2 of them actually interested in your product or services. So all these platforms, you need to know their rules. Like Instagram has a rule that prevents a certain amount of people liking your page per day or within a certain period. They prevent, even some of the platforms prevent the number of times that you can post within a certain period. So you need to be able to learn all of these rules. For example, you can tweet, yes, you can tweet more than 240 characters in Twitter, but for most of the time, you should try to work within that parameter that they give you, because most times, if you are not passing across what is really important, you might just realize that some people might just see the third tweet, whereas they have omitted the first 1, 2, and you have succeeded in not passing across the right information. So try as much as possible to know the ground rules for each of the platforms, and you know the terms and conditions, because immediately you break this, we've had a couple of people being bad after laboring for so much of time. They will just realize that Facebook just come out and they decided to block their account. And most times when they block the account, you have to write to them, talk to them, and all that. And these things take time. And there are some times that they don't release the account to you. So try as much as possible to be law-abiding citizen, just like you are to Nigeria or to the nation or whichever nation you are in any part of the world. That is the same way you have rules and regulations that guide most of these platforms. So try as much as possible to study the rules and the conditions. Also, this is key. Like we do say in business, cash is king. On social media, content is king. The content you put out there is topmost. So it's not all about the numbers, but it's about the richness. It's about the quality. It's about the appropriateness of the content. So I do tell people, if you don't have the capacity to be posting every day, make it a point of duty, even if it's once a month, once a week. Once a month might be too long, but as often as you can. Most times you just need to push yourself. I know we are busy and not we are busy and we can get consumed with so many other things. But what I always advise is that try as much as possible to create a good plan. And immediately you create a good plan, whatever you want to do will find its way into that plan if it's actually meant to be done. So if you have succeeded in creating a plan for your social media, as we have mentioned as part of your vision and goal, then creating the right content is key. So I tell you, how will you generate your content? You need to be able to ask that question. Who will be responsible for the content? For so many of us might not be graphically inclined, whereby we'll be able to design our own graphics. So we can reach out to whosoever is going to be responsible for that, have the right agreement with the person on frequency, how often designs will be coming. And for the ones that are coming from us, even we have so many people that we can pay to create content. And exactly what do you want to put out? Like I said, our intention, our goal will determine the content I want to put out. Most times, if you're a professional and you want to become an expert, you want to be known for all the best things that happen in your industry, that means you have to launch yourself, develop yourself to be able to come out with insightful, well-researched information. You wouldn't be going and joining the bandwagon. You want to make sure that anything you're putting out there can be taken to the bank and found to be true. So I will want to advise, even as we are planning, for those of us that have been on it, try as much as possible to know what content you want to put out there. For Instagram, short videos work well, images work well. On Twitter, images and right content, short, precise, concise, works well. On YouTube, you can design videos that can tell the right story, complete and apt story, keep your audience engaged all through. And that's why even when you're creating the content, the music, the background, the tone, everything just have to be balanced. So you need to look deeply at these things. And also, if you are going on Facebook, Facebook is good for story, especially story that can connect. Not just, for example, if you are writing about a drug, write a drug, medicine. I think it's more of medicine that is appropriate. Write the story as it will appeal to the heart. Social media, is, Facebook, most especially, is a friendly atmosphere. So the more of friendly content that you can write that can effectively connect with your audience, the better you will be engaged. People will love to come to your page and to love what you are writing. So I move on. So basically, this is how social media works. From the content to how you communicate it to social media, and that's how the circle keeps going on. That's how the circle keeps coming on. So content, like I said, is key. The way you communicate, the social media is the channel, and what you intend to do at the end of the day is to communicate with your audience. So try as much as possible to make sure that all these are well done. There are ways that you can check to be sure that each of these are going well. One of the ways that you can see is the way the messages, people are liking your post, the way people are following. Some of these things are metrics, yardsticks that you can use to actually get to see how well you're doing and move on from there. So, like I said, like I previously said, one of the problems that we do encounter when we are talking with people is that how do I build traffic? How do I gain followership? How do I gain fun? How do I get people that will subscribe to my platform? Yes, I do tell people the first thing that you need to seek to do in all your communication, which we all know, the whole essence of communication is to make sure that what you are passing as the sender gets to the receiver. So when you need to reach the receiver, you should reduce the noise along the way if you cannot totally eradicate the noise. But as much as possible, try to eradicate the noise. But if you cannot totally eradicate the noise, try as much as possible to reduce the noise along the way. And that's where clarity is key. So whatever you want to put out there, if it's possible, try as much as possible to see if you can get editor or run through somebody else. One of the problems for most of us as professionals is to maintain clarity, especially for a layman. I'm sure that if some of us need to pass across some things, you would have started talking about all those big English and big composition that get mixed up together with drugs. And for me, I will just be veining understanding, because if you don't break it down, I won't understand. So when you want to put out anything there, try as much as possible to be clear. Reduce the noise to the merest minimum. And the noise is not all about just the things you are saying. When you mean to say A, don't go about beating around the bush trying to say B and C before you say A. And this goes along from your image to video to text to every other expression that you want to put out there. Even if you want to do video, let's say you want to engage your audience, try as much as possible to reduce the noise. We do see some people that will go online. Apologies to the ladies, this is not intended, but I do say it. We do see some people when they want to go online, you see the makeup has actually covered the message they are intending to pass across. And these are among the noises that I'm talking about. So it's not about just the noises in the background, maybe something coming from the background. It can actually be your dressing that is not in sync with what you want to pass across, or the text, or the way you have written your text. So I'm dwelling on this because I know that this is where so many people have issues with what they put out there. The next thing I talk about, that another of the strategies for drawing traffic and followership to your accounts and for keeping them. These are also strategies that you can use to keep your audience. Genuine connections with people. Genuine connection with people. This is key. This is key. We all can look at our best adverts or our best brands. You realize that one of the things that have endeared them to us is because of the genuine connection that they put out there when they're talking. Apology, I'll just mention a brand, for example, Indomie with children. You see so many of those, their songs. Look at the way they connect with the audience. Look at the way even for most of us adults, we do sing the song. We join them in singing the song. So that is the way to genuinely connect. I'm not saying that everybody has to produce a song or something, but look at the way that you can foster a genuine connection with your audience, with the people. Speak to their interests, speak to their values, speak to them personally, appeal to them, like the adverts that we watch just before I started talking. You can see the person was the way they are trying to connect with us about malaria. So at times, this is one of the things that we need to laboriously seek to do. Genuine connection always gets new feedback. It's when people have genuine connection with you that they can actually tell you that, okay, this is where your brand is failing and this is where it's improving. And going by the cost, by what we are talking about, customer service. If you don't have genuine connections with your audience, how do you want them to know if any of your staff has said what is wrong to them? Or if you don't foster that environment where they can actually give you the right feedback, you might be losing a lot of customers. So I tell you, in every customer service approaches that you want to reach out, please try as much as possible to genuinely connect. And the third thing that I want to talk about on strategies for drawing traffic and followership and for keeping them, like I said, is organically build your audience. Organically build your audience. There are things there's something we call organic and inorganic audience building online. Organic is when you are building with no input of buying or promotion. When you are doing inorganic is when you are not waiting for people to connect with you based on what you have or what you are posting, but you want to reach them by by promotion, by advertisement, and by any other means that you can use to quickly put them together. One thing I would say is most of us just need to look at either our businesses, how it has been doing. Check most times the relationship that you build organically, those working customers, those customers that came to you as a result of word of mouth, those customers that you genuinely connect with, that you didn't totally just go to radio stations or whatever. I'm not discounting this because I will talk about it. All these things are also important. You need to promote. But what I'm saying is that as much as possible, let your audience come to you organically, naturally, based on what you're putting out there. For example, let's say I'm a professional and all I've been doing is just to be doing advertisements of what I'm doing, this and this and this. And I'm not looking at the people that have made their life better, either people that have come to me and see improvement in their businesses. And I'm putting that out there and telling people about using that testimonials to reach my audience. If I'm not doing that, I will just be shortchanging myself by just promoting. But if I do that, somebody that I identified particularly with that circumstance will just decide that, oh, this person has solved this problem. Let me go to this person. And that is when they come to you because they have seen what you have done, not just because you have decided, because they have seen your advertisement, they just decided that, oh, let's go with this person, or because they just realized that you have many friends. Like I said previously, people buy followers, people buy audience. Yes, it's possible. You can do it, but I don't advise it, especially if you are looking to build long-term business empire or business brand. So I always tell you, in optimizing your social media platform or connection, try as much as possible to let it be organic, let it be natural. And another thing that I do always advise when you want to keep and draw traffic to yourself is to be authentic and to be loyal. Is a popular saying that to whom much is given, much is expected. Every customer that reach out to you, they expect you to be human in all of your approach. They expect you to be authentic. Faking things and giving appearance of what is not won't work. Yes, I know so many people do it, but we know what happened to most of them at the end of the day. But brands that have remained authentic through the year, they see a massive following more than people that have decided to be unauthentic, people that just want to fake it, people that are not loyal. Let people know that you are authentic in all the information you are putting out there. Let them be able to know that, okay, this that you're recommending is not because you just want to push things off the shelf. It's not because you just want to make money. It's because that, yes, while you are making money, you also seek for their common good. So, as much as possible, do not embark on any fake news, fake approaches, fake lifestyle on social media, be down to earth, and your audience, and I mean your real audience, will value that, and that is what they are going to use as testimonial to say that this person is really this, not when they don't even know if you are using what you are selling to them. And like I previously said, in everything, try to excite, try to entertain, and try to educate. And that's where telling your story is very, very important. Don't just tell stories that do not appeal to the heart. Let your story appeal to the heart of men, even though you want to also appeal to their brain. Let it be able to touch. Occasionally, be fun. Social media, just like we said, so many of us can have cranky friends, but we know that so many of these cranky friends, we don't go to them as often as we go to the fun-loving ones. So it's the same thing with social media. You need to be able to show the other side of you, which is exciting. You need to be able to show the other side of you, which is humorous. You need to be able to show the other side of you, which is entertaining, and so that you can be able to draw the audience. Because yes, like they said, all work and no play make Jack a dull boy. And I believe that each and every one of us has that soft spot, has that fun, loving side of us. And it's the same thing with all of our audience. There are times that they just want to be able to just get off from all the hard things of life and be able to come and see somebody put smile on their faces. So I do encourage people, as much as you're building your social media platform, try as much as possible to also excite, entertain, and educate, and not just concentrate on the serious part of business. Yes, I do tell businesses is not all the time that you need to promote your business, especially now, like what happened during the course of the week. Some people were getting called out online because in the midst of what we are going through in the nation, they were doing advertisement. I don't see anything bad in it, really. We can, you can't tell me when to promote my business, but at times there are times that you just need to be empathic. There are times that you just have to see the downside of life. There are times that you just have to see the good and the fun part of life. So I do encourage you, as you are building and you're drawing your traffic and you want to keep them entertained, keep them excited, and keep them educated at all times. This the next strategy that I encourage us to do mostly is to look for insight, to look for reports. Most times, most people don't even know how to get insight on all of this social media. The good thing is most times most businesses are doing well on social media, but because the yardstick they have been using is the yardstick of followership, so many of them get caught up while they are doing good things in achieving their goals. They are busy comparing their followership, they are busy comparing their likes and the like, instead of actually digging down and actually seeing so many other metrics they can use. Other metrics that you can use can include the reach. You might be reaching more people. That most of the things that you are putting out there does not necessarily attract action. For example, if you don't put call to action, there's got to be a balance here. So I'm not discounting likes, the importance of likes to your social media growth. I'm not discounting followership. All I'm saying is that at times you need to look deep down. And that's what I'm saying, that when you drill down, when you look really down, like there's an adage that in Yoruba that they said, if you look well, you the eyes can actually see our nose. If there's a way that you can position your eyes and you can actually see the nose, and that's the same way. If you go deep down, you might actually see that social media is not all about the followership, it's not all about the likes, but there are other things like the reach impression, the reach are the number of people that your posts are reaching. For example, you might be reaching thousands, and some of them are not just taking actions, either because you're not putting the right call to action, or they just don't see any reason why they need to take action. For example, there are so many, I do tell people, there are so many millions of people that watch videos on YouTube that ended up not subscribing. There are so many people that watch YouTube and even see your profile that ended up not liking. Most of us are like that. So because you're not doing it, does that mean that the person has not reached you? The person has reached you. So reach can actually a better yardstick to be used instead of all about like and followership. So in all of these things, I advise there are so many platforms or solutions that you can use, even if you are not using external software or application to get these insights. Even so many of them, for many of us that have business accounts for our Instagram, you'll be able to see insights just below your post where you can review what's actually happening. And the same thing we have on our Twitter, the same thing we have on Facebook. You can see some of those things. And some of these insights can actually also help you, and that's why there are suggestions from most of these platforms. When you put something out there, they will tell you, oh, this you have reached this social person, you can promote. And that's a suggestion. At times you can just decide based on that because you have realized that yes, this particular post is doing well. Then you can now show it up with a little bit of promotion. So that will push more because even by the time people are seeing it, they are realizing that they are not just the first person seeing it. So what you have done is that organically you have first of all reach the audience. All you just want to do is to increase it. And what most of the platforms do on that ground is that they will now use the interest, the people in the demography, in the bracket, either age, interest, or background of people that have seen the post. They will now use that one to also reach out. So that's one of the beauty of organic reach, because what you have succeeded in doing is that okay, you have first of all created people that have you have first of all reached people that have interest in what you have. Then you are now promoting, boosting it to the same audience, which automatically will make them to be readily receptive to what you have. So these are basic strategies. There are definitely more, but for me, I like I do say, clarity is important. Genuine connection, which I think most of us can identify with. Consistently stick with organic building of audience instead of buying audience or using paid promotions to get audience. Loyalty, authenticity is important. Try as much as possible to excite, entertain, and educate. Then try as much as possible, not just to be posting. Look at your report. Look at how you are doing well. Look at how, for most of us that are parents and all of those, and even some of us that are still learning, realize that the exam, the reports that we get also help us to do more because it also tells us the area where we are doing well, where we can improve, and the areas where we're not doing well, where we can improve. And these are things that I highlighted here. Another key thing that we do have, especially among the people that are a bit older in age, is the fear of their security. I do tell people, like they do say, risky, life is risky. Um, I don't think there's a fireproof way to guarantee that you cannot be hacked. It's the same way that it's difficult that you cannot, that it's difficult for you to say that you cannot be robbed. Yes, but what happened is that if you are security conscious, if you put security first, you will realize that you have automatically reduced your exposure to the risk. And it's the same thing with online. Most times, this has been the reason why people say that is social media for me? Is it good for my business? Is it something I want to do? Especially even for some of the business, if I put my product out there, I put price, somebody will take my pictures and all of those things. Don't let the fear consume you. The sincere truth is that most times people still know where the original content comes from. So even if you have a rival that is taking your images or stealing your content, you just persist. At the end of the day, people will know the first who is doing it. And if your goal is actually just educate and reach your audience, you realize that it's not, like they said, it's not one way that leads to market. So you don't have to be fretful when you go online. So that's why I realized that this has been one of the key things that people ask. How can I stay protected on social media? How can I stay protected online? What the first and the primary one is to use strong passwords. This is very, very important. As much as possible, I know most of us want to be able to remember our password. So we end up using the same password for most of our accounts. A lot of us do that. I will advise as much as possible. Yes, even if you want to use the same flow, try as much as possible to tweak it a bit. Mix capital letter with small letters, with alphabet, with special characters, and everything that you can use to make sure that. But the primary thing is use strong password. Most of these platforms do tell you, they give you suggestions if it's strong enough, if it's medium, if it's this. So try as much as possible to see that your password is a bit strong. It's not something that I can just guess your name. Some people are so bad that I can just get their name and just mix their daughter's name, and we have reached that. And one thing you can be sure is that people that knows you knows where to fetch all of this information so that they can permutate and combine together and get to the desired end. So try as much as possible to make it a bit difficult for them to just guess and reach their desired end. So use strong password. The other one is multi-factor authentication. The simplest way that I can talk about this is some of us that do transfer. That's why most of those banks, they send you a token either to your phone or to your email that you need to impute before you can complete your transaction. Some of them do give you token, and some of them gives you other platforms. So there's so many platforms like Google has Google authentication platform that you can use to also safeguard your platform. And most of these Gmail and even Zoom and all of them, they have a way that you can, when somebody is trying to log in, they will have to use something that's connected with you. Either is asking them for secret question, or is asking for that a code be sent to your phone or to your email, so that you will be able to, they will be able to at least identify that this person logging in is not just guessing to go through. So as much as possible on all the platform, either your mail, I recommend for your mail, for your phone, for everything, try as much as possible to activate multi-factor authentication. For most of the businesses account, our advice, use page instead of accounts. There's business page for Instagram, there's business page for Facebook, there's Twitter for business. What happened with that is that when you use accounts, for example, let me just the simplest thing that distinguish that is that for accounts, you are looking for friends, which will restrict you, especially for Facebook now, which will restrict you. The person has to accept your friendship before the person can be your friend. So that is not good for business. For business page, all it happens that I might not even know you from Adam, but immediately I see that this organization, I like what they're doing, I like what they're posting, I can just like the page. So what you are sharing will automatically be pushed to me. So try as much as possible to look at all of this. And that's why I mentioned at the beginning that try to understand the rules, try to understand the terms and conditions for most of these platforms so that you can make the best of it. Recently, Facebook even created and Instagram created another account that's creative, where those are the ones that you can use to make some additional video, extended IGTV, and all of that. So it has additional features. So much as possible, you need to keep updating yourself, and that's why I advise, if you know that you can't go through all of this. I'm not trying to, yes, in as much as I will sell what I'm doing, try to get professionals that you can consult. Even if if they are not the one doing it, that you can easily consult on this. I know so many times pharmacists Ajibade pick my head on some things, and I believe that's the same way that we can have advisors that we can also be able to ask, double check on things. I do that for a couple of people. When they receive some things, they will, is this right? I will just tell them, okay, don't respond, do this and do that. So please try as much as possible to reach out to professionals, just like you're a professional yourself, and people are counting on you. So try as much as possible to do that. Share responsibly. This is very, very important. As much as possible, try to share responsibly. Responsibly, like some of the things that we are fighting in our world currently is fake news. Try as much as possible to stay away from fake news. Fake news can be in terms of pushing fake news about another business in order for your business to progress. Fake news can be in terms of promoting a venture or an idea or product that you know does not do what you say that it's doing. And also another way that you can share responsibly is to try as much as possible to avoid sharing overly personal information. Overly, some of the things like people will tell you, some people have gotten their house robbed because their contact information, and they've told people that they are away on vacation. By the time they are coming back, people have gone to their homes. So this will not be our own lot, but as much as possible, try as much as possible to stay away from some overly personal thing. Some people, like I know there are some people, by the time some people, there's a way that we can permutate things. By the time I combine all your children with your whatever, your name and all those things, like most of us, that's what we use by then. And that's where some people do get to know about password of people. At times, some people use their person name. Immediately they guess and they put it there. So try as much as possible to pick what you're sharing. Don't stay away from sharing, but share what is meant to achieve what you intend to achieve in the life of your audience. You're sharing for your audience, not sharing all about you. Most times your audience are not even interested in you, but they are interested in what you have to give. Is it could be a selfish work, but the sincere truth is that give them what they need, share it as much as possible. When it gets to time, they will ask for more, then you can give them. And another thing is to use only trusted third-party applications. Most of us, we just download. So many people expose themselves as a result of downloads. We've seen so many times this year that Google Play has had to be withdrawing or removing some applications, all because they compromise securities and all of that. So try as much as possible before you download any apps or get any software. Try as much as possible to check the reviews, double check with professionals to see if it's actually part of the things that you actually need, and if there are alternative. Yes, I know there are some of those software that we need to use, but there might be a better alternative. At times you might need to pay, but most times you might not need to pay, even if it's just to do a trial. But try as much as possible to use only trusted third-party applications on your phone, on your laptop, or whatever channels that you're using for this. So, in conclusion, while I wrap up, um, what I need to say is social media is for you, it's for me, it's for each and every one of us. Like they do say, nature abhors vacuum, where you have decided to use the social media for good, some other people will use it for evil, and you will now be playing catch up. So, as much as possible, as you are launching your venture, try as much as possible to make sure that you are the one telling your stories. There are people out there, there are some people that are just, in quotes, evil. All they want is to use the channel to bastardize your name and all of those things. But if your story is being told by you, when they bring that, people will put it side by side. And that's why it's important that you get customer um, to also join you in amplifying your words out there. So social media is for you. It's not just for the extroverts. It's not for the people that are outgoing. It's for even some of us that are reserved and all of that. So it's for you. It's for me. Is social media safe? It is very, very safe, provided, like I've said, under protection, under protecting yourself. Share responsibly, use strong password, try as much as possible to only download and use trusted applications and all of that. And it's easy, affordable, and friendly. I tell you, so many business have saved millions, and I'm not joking. We've helped businesses to save millions as a result of having effective online presence. So if you have not been online, even from your email to your WhatsApp to everything, you know what you are saving instead of going to the mainstream media. So social media can be used well, and especially for customer service. Instead of you having to make all the calls, if you integrate your, like we do for some people, you integrate your social media with your website on what you have online, you can effectively use it to to chat them live. It's what we have, live chats. You can chat with them live, which is like real time customer service. So all you just need is you can even check the conversation. Okay, please let's talk on our website. Let's chat. And most people have their mobile phone, which is connected most times. They will find that easily available and affordable for themselves. So it is safe, it is easy, affordable, and friendly. It is worthy marketing tools for every business, regardless of size and location. We are based in Ibadan, but I tell you the sincere truth is that most of our customers are not even here. That's the thing, and we are working with people in Lagos more than we are even working with people in Ibadan. And yes, do we need to travel? Yes, we do travel, but I think there's been a blessing in disguise in COVID, and even what we have. People have now realized that online is not just a by the side; it's actually what you can use to save business. And for most of us, even if you can take your business online, you don't need big whatever. At the end of the day, like I've been to a place and the guy was like, this. It was shocked when he saw me. I looked small. So when I got there, I was like, this. So you are the one that have been collecting our money. So it's not all about size. You can have a small business and you appear like a conglomerate. I do see some of our competitors, they see, so it's you that have been troubling us. Yes, it's the little me. So try as much as possible to also use it, regardless of size, location. You can use social media to your advantage. Just get the right platform working for you. It requires clarity of goals, like I've said, vision, intent for effective optimization for profitability. Your goals are important, your visions are important, your intent is key, is important for effective optimization. The best time to start is now. Don't defy it. Yes, it doesn't matter if you struggle at the beginning. You might be doing it haphazardly at the beginning, but if you put it among the things that you want to do, like I said, if there's a will, there's a way. You will get along. So the best time is not to promote, to postpone. Start it now. Talk to people, see what you have with the little resources. Even if it's WhatsApp that you're starting, I will encourage you start with WhatsApp today. Add Facebook next week. Add Instagram next week. Start it. Just start. By the time you get on it, you will start learning and give yourself time to evolve. Don't rush yourself. Set the pace for yourself. Don't rush yourself. Don't be consumed with what somebody is doing. Just be concentrate on achieving your own results. And like I said, seek to educate along with whatever you're doing. Seek to educate, seek to excite your audience, and seek to entertain. Thank you very much for the time.